Welcome everybody, this is Wargamer Sean. I'm coming at you first thing, New Year's. It's like 12:47, so it's January 1st, 2016. So I didn't quite get another video done last year, but I'm doing one for this year. Not quite, was still a little like wound up, so not quite ready to go to bed, so I figured I'd make a video. I figured I would start with answering a question that I'd gotten with my 300 subscriber contest. Victor Q's had asked to kind of do a little bit of a review of the Harlequin Codex after playing it. And, you know, I think the first thing that I would say is, you know, I think you should always play what you want to play, and it also always kind of depends on your local meta, meaning the people that are playing in your area, and how competitive the people that you're playing with are, and how competitive the local group that you're playing with, and also how competitive you want to play or how you want to play the game. I think Harlequins by themselves right now, unless there's some restrictions for tournaments that make things a little bit more fluffy, or perhaps like Highlander type style. I think that Harlequins by themselves, without any allies, kind of struggle a little bit. I think the reason that they struggle, it's not that they're not good, it's just that every model costs so many points, and so you're never going to have a ton of guys on the field. And even if you do have an army where you have a lot of Harlequins that you're fielding, you're still going to be outnumbered usually against your foe, unless you're playing some really other elite army like Grey Knights or something like that. But even then, a lot of times the Grey Knights, they may not have a lot of models, but their armor saves are, make them a lot more survivable than the Harlequins. Now, what you rely on is speed and your psychic abilities, although it's not foolproof, and so you're going to lose guys. And the problem is that every time you lose one, it's an expensive loss. It's not like an orc where you get a 6 or 8 point boy that it's like, okay, I lost one, who cares. These guys are expensive each model, and they have an invuln save, but it's only a 5-up, so a lot of DACA or a lot of shots will kill them. The models that I like, my favorite that they brought back from first, second edition is the Solitaire. I really like him. I like the model. I like the rules, but I've had him fall to just a squad of 5-man and rapid fire bolters, and it's not that they bypass his armor because he's got a nice invuln save. It's just that they did so many shots that they were able to just kill him in one volley, and so it's hard. I do tend to like to run the hero's path formation, where you take a Solitaire and a Death Jester and a shoot, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the Psyker, and they each have Shrouded in Stealth, and they're independent characters, but they can't join anybody. They have to stay out by themselves. It's not such a big deal for the Death Jester and the Solitaire, because he's got to be by himself anyway. It's a little hard on the Psyker, just because it would be usually better for that, for her to join a squad to be protected a little better. But I've still had success running them. I've even run them at the Hero's Path, where I run those 3, and then I run like Elder or Dark Elder, and no other Harlequins, and run that pretty successfully. So I'd say my favorite character so far in the book is the Solitaire. I really like the new bikes. I think cost, not physical cost, but like game point wise cost, is a little rough for those guys for only having a 4-up save. They do have 2 wounds, but they're toughness 4, so anything strength 8 or more is going to double them out, which makes them pretty expensive. Especially, I usually run them with a Zephyr's Glaive to make them decent in close combat, and so they're 60 points a model, which is kind of expensive. But I do like them. I kind of tend to, play an army for a little while, and then I'm kind of ADD with my army, so I'll get like, oh, something else came out, I'm gonna play this army for now. I was working and I put all of my new Harlequin stuff together, and I have it all kind of primed, and I think I may have still a few models that are bare plastic, but I've been painting them, but I haven't gotten all of them done yet. Then I kind of started working on some of the Necron stuff, and then I started working on, a lot of different armies that were coming out, and so I'm kind of headed back there soon now. Right now I'm trying to, for Idic Beer's painting for this new year, I'm going to try to work on my Tau, because I've needed to give them attention for a while, and I'd like to play them in a tournament coming up in the end of January called Good, Bad, and the Ugly, which I took my Sisters of Battle to last year, and I used Nick's painting challenge to get my sisters painted for that tournament, and I actually got best painted at that tournament. It's a big tournament, so I felt pretty good about that. I'm gonna try to get my Tau painted up nicely and see how I do with that, and I'll do a video probably next showing the stuff that I'm going to be working on for the painting challenge, at least the beginning stuff. Anyway, back to Harlequins. I like them. I'm super excited that GW made an army for them again. I've been, wanting it ever since they took them away after 2nd edition. So I'm excited. It's just, I think they're a pretty elite army, and they're kind of hard, especially depending on, if you've been playing for a while, since before 6th edition. Allies really weren't a thing. When you took an army from 5th edition and earlier, you took one army and that's what you played. You didn't really have allies, and allies brought an interesting matrix into the game. It's definitely changed it, for better or for worse. And so I think right now, the intent from Games Workshop is, that the Harlequins are meant to kind of be allied in with either, Eldar or Dark Eldar, or the new Corsairs that came out recently in Imperial Armor. I think that's kind of their intent. I can't read their minds, but I do like the Harlequin army. I think, even anything that's like good in close combat, if you can hit them and you're the one that makes the charge, and because you get that furious charge when you attack, you're going to usually wreck whatever you touch. It's just usually the hard part is getting them up in, to close combat. And I think honestly too, most of the time, I think you need to kind of pick your battles. So you want to attack things that you can hopefully hit and kill right away, or hit, survive a round, and then back right before your turn after the opponent's assault phase, like hit and run out of there, and then shoot and assault again. So it definitely is an army that requires a lot of finesse. The old Eldar, the 4th edition Codex, as it aged, kind of became more of a finesse army, since the newer editions like 6th and 7th edition Eldar are pretty strong again, and so I don't think it's as much of a finesse army, and I think the Harlequins are kind of more that role now, and the Dark Eldar are very finesse. Their Codex continues to get a little weaker as the new codices come out, because they rely so much on poison, and the problem is like with the new super heavies and gargantuan creatures are only wounded on 6s with poison, so it makes poison a lot less viable against those creatures, and the longer time goes on, the more gargantuan creatures I think we're going to see. The Tau have a Storm Surge now, the Wraith Knight's out for Eldar, which was out before, but they changed its classification to gargantuan from monstrous. I'm sure the rumors are that the Tyranids are getting a Codex in January potentially, and the rumors are that they're going to get a gargantuan creature as well. They already have some Imperial Armor ones, but I think there's going to be a mainstay one that's coming. So, back to Harlequins. I do like them. I need to do more videos. I haven't filmed the last couple battle reports or battles that I've done. I haven't had my camera with me, and I should have, but I've been kind of behind on doing videos and stuff, and so I still have a couple of videos that are old that I need to actually get put up here that I have filmed already. So I need to film some Harlequin battle reports. I apologize that I haven't done that. But I do like them. I think they can be a really beautiful army. I think they're just a lot of fun to play, and I think they're a lot of fun to paint, because you kind of have, they don't have to necessarily, all look the same, and they can look very colorful, and and so you can have fun when you paint them. I kind of feel like they're very fun to paint as well as like orcs, because they don't really necessarily have to follow any rules. They can just paint what they want. Whereas a lot of other armies kind of have, their soldiers have a certain look, and they all look very similar, that sort of thing. So the Harlequins, I really like them. As far as competitive, I don't think they're definitely not the top army or the best. I think you can still have fun with them. I think we had a tournament that was kind of more restricted, and we had, I think, a person get, I think, most battle points, or maybe second most battle points, that was playing an all Harlequin army. Now you can only play one army, you can take allies and stuff like that, so it's kind of more based on having to take one army. But the person did very well with them, and they didn't have a solitaire. They had I think a couple Death Justers and one Psyker, I think, and then just a lot of like bikes and a lot of the transports, and a lot of just 6-man troops. So it was I thought it did very well. I actually played against it. I was playing Chaos Space Crimson Slaughter Chaos Space Marines, and I barely won the game. And I mean, it could have gone either way. At the end of the game, it could have gone either way. And I had a couple of Obliterator squads, and he got into close combat with them with his Harlequins and just wiped them out. And there's a 2-up save with a 5-up invuln, but it they had enough to really knock him down. He had a lot of like Harlequin's caresses in the squad too, so he did have things that could do high or low AP damage to kill them. So anyway, that's all I had to say about that. I'll do another video very soon with the kind of showcasing the Tau. I'll try to maybe do a showcase on what I have. I've converted one of the Storm Surgers because I don't like the open top of it, and just show before I start kind of really painting them and getting them ready for their final touches. So until next time, keep on wargaming, and Happy New Year's, everybody.
Goodbye. 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 Bye-bye. Goodbye. See ya. Bye for now. Bye for now. Goodbye. I like bottoms.